Hi guys, this is a quick code walkthrough video for challenge 2947 lead workflow on Google Class. I think I should create this video because I am using Apex Jobs, so I just wanted to show you the flow of the application I am using to fulfill the requirements mentioned in this challenge. So basically what challenge says is when the lead is created, it should create a glass contact. It should fetch the newly created glass contact's ID and update field present on the lead for that contact ID. Then it should insert a timeline item into the Google Glass with following details. And then there is one field sent to glass on lead object which should be set to true. This should happen within one click when the lead is saved. And the leads which should go through this process depends on this criteria. The current user should be the glass user and the send to glass should be false. So whenever my lead is created, the lead trigger will be called, obviously, which is having two events: after insert and after update. I am using trigger lead handler class, so the code is split in proper way to for the flexibility basically. So when the event is after insert, the after insert will get called, and when it is update, after update will get called. Now in after insert, what we basically do is first part of the requirement, that is creating the class contact and updating the contact ID. And as soon as we update the contact ID on the lead, the second part will get called, which will do the second part of the requirement, that is creating a new timeline and updating the lead send to class field to true. So this trigger will move the flow to lead trigger handler class. In the lead trigger handler class, in the after insert trigger, I do check if the lead owner's glass user field is true and the send to glass is false. Then I call this bulk glass contact creation action Apex job, and this job will do all the callouts in bulk. One badge is consist of 10 records because our Salesforce callout limit is 10. Let's see this class. This class takes set of lead IDs on which the callout should be performed. It builds the query, the normal batch process. The query locator returns the list of leads, and at this line call class API, which calls the private method, and this private method actually calls create class contact with lead ID, the name and company as told. With lead ID, display name is full name and lead company, and the phone number is phone number of the lead, so single letter phone. My Google API callout class handles all the API callouts. This is provided in the base package. So I added these few new methods. This create class contact returns me the contact ID of the glass contact ID, which are returned to my execute method, and here I get the class contact ID. I'm just creating this map where key is the lead ID and the value is class contact ID newly created, because I don't want to make all the updates when there might be few HTTP calls for remaining leads. So in this for loop I am calling out HTTP calls in the creating the map, and once all the callouts for leads present in the scope are done, I am using a second for loop to update the fields, basically class contact ID. Now this is one small change I have to make, which is I'm assigning the scope, that is the updated list, to another list, and I'm updating the lead list basically in the finish. I cannot update the lead list in execute, because when I perform DML update on lead list, it will call my trigger, and in result it will call my after update method in trigger handler, which will start another job to create a timeline post item. And Salesforce does not allow me to start a second job from execute, start, or future method of any other Apex shop. So that is why in the finish method I am starting a new job. I should make this uncommented, because basically you can remove the try catch if you want your job show the exceptions in debugger log. I'm sorry, if you want your job to show the exceptions in debugger log, if you put the exception, then you have to throw it and then handle it separately. You can choose whatever way you want in the final. So this job updates the list with class contact ID, and the flow goes into the after update method. In after update trigger.new, we will have the leads, only the leads which we need to update, or for which we need to create the timeline post. Then the second job will be called name bulk post to class timeline. Logic in both the classes are same. Actually, it does the same job. It builds the query, it creates the scope, it creates same two maps, same map, not two maps. In the execute method of the batch, it calls post lead info class timeline with class contact ID. This is the map I am sending from my after update method. This map consists of lead ID and its Google contact ID. I have to create this map because if you note here, I'm updating the different set of list of leads, not which is present in the scope. I cannot update the list of scope because it is that record will be read only, because it is still in the lead trigger. So that is why I'm creating this map. This is not yet committed to the database, so I'm creating a map with single lead ID and its class contact, which I can retrieve here, and I'm sending Google class contact ID to for the creator, title and HTML to send. And then the timeline ID, this method post lead info class timeline will return me the dummy timeline ID, and if it is not null and it is not blank, then I put that particular timeline ID into the map. And in this map, for whichever leads the value is present, I'm updating send to class equal to true for those leads, which makes sense perfectly. I had put all the comments at the proper places, so I don't think so you will find any problem to understand any of the line of code present in the application. These are the main two classes newly defined. There are 2 or 3 more classes like helper util, HTTP response util, build job query util, which are just util classes. I'm defining the reusable methods for there. The build job query util basically builds a simple dynamic query with querying all the necessary fields present on the lead. So whenever, suppose in future, developer wants to query any other field on lead for his application, then he does not need to query or put that field at different places. He just need to add the field over here and you're done. So you will not find the subject was retrieved without querying particular blah blah field. So because of that, I have built this class, new class. Similarly, the rest of the two classes are util classes, which defines the HTTP response util defines all the responses for the Google Class API. That is request body for class contact creation, the response body for class contact creation, and other util methods like parsing the JSON, getting the HTML body, etc. My main two classes are batch classes. So I think this is enough for the code walkthrough. I had given the comments properly in all the classes. These are the classes coming from the base package. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video and giving your time. Thanks a lot.